Bishop Odo is an individual who we have to learn about for our history GCSE, yet I still find that he's one of my favourite characters throughout all of history, and this is because throughout his entire life his only motivation remained power, money, and glory. So let's start from the beginning. Odo, who can be seen on the far left in this tapestry, was the half-brother of William I, or William the Conqueror, and he was born in 1036 in Normandy. In 1049, aged only 14, he was made the Bishop of Bayeux. This put him at a young age into a position of high power, and could be a reason for his greedy personality. So, as we all know, William the Conqueror was famous for conquering England across the English Channel, and Odo actually had an involvement in this. Now, I don't know the pronunciation for this, properly, so I'm going to have to give it a guess. He served on the Council of Bon. The council was essentially a group of nobles who were going to help William plan the invasion of England, and it was actually backed by the Pope, which was pretty cool, and it also meant that William had the backing of religion and God to invade England. Odo's contribution was providing lots of ships to actually stage the invasion with. So, fast forward to 1066, when the English king, Edward the Confessor, dies without a direct heir to the throne. The main contenders are King of Norway, Harald Hardrada, William, Duke of Normandy, and Harold Godwinson. There's also Edgar Atheling, but no, we don't need to talk about him. When Harold Godwinson takes the throne himself, Harald Hardrada invades England in the north, but he is beaten off at the Battle of Stamford Bridge. Then William tries his own luck and lands at Hastings in the south of England. Then of course there is the all-famous Battle of Hastings. Odo himself was there fighting at Hastings, but then at some point God must have come down and been like, Odo, you are a Christian, you're not supposed to be fighting in these battles and slaughtering people. So Odo apologized and made sure he was encouraging the rest of the troops throughout the battle. Obviously that's not actually what really happened. Odo must have realized that having been there at Hastings wasn't doing anything for his reputation as a bishop, and so on the Bayeux Tapestry, which he commissioned later on, he made sure that he was depicted encouraging the troops and not engaging in combat himself. A bit more on the Bayeux Tapestry. It was a large tapestry which was commissioned by Odo in the 1070s, which recounted the events leading up to and following the Battle of Hastings. The whole concept of the tapestry is a big lie, actually, because it was found to be made in England by Anglo-Saxons. So, 1067 was a big year for Odo. For his involvement in the Battle of Hastings, he was rewarded the Earldom of Kent, and when William left the country to return to Normandy, he was made co-regent of England, which meant that Odo was essentially ruling the country on William's behalf while he was away. This was huge for Odo because it granted him essentially unlimited power. As you would probably come to expect from someone like Odo, he abused his power, and in 1076 the court ruled that he had to return the land from the estates from 23 counties which he had illegally seized from Anglo-Saxons. Oh look, Odo's on his horse. I wonder where he's going. Spoilers, he's going to jail, because it was discovered that Odo was planning a military expedition to Italy to become Pope, as Pope Gregory VII's power was in question, and Odo wanted to exploit the crisis. William the Conqueror is dead, and on his deathbed he reluctantly pardoned Odo and released him from prison. And by now, Odo was a changed man. He'd learned from his ways and reflected on his actions during prison. He was ready to rejoin society and make a positive contribution to the world. Haha, just kidding, really bamboozled you there. No, he actually started to lead another rebellion, and this time it was bigger than anything he tried before. You see, when William died, he was unsure as to which of his children would get which parts of the kingdom. William decided himself that his son Robert would get Normandy, while William Rufus would get England. There was only one problem. The two brothers were natural rivals, and many barons held land in both kingdoms. They were afraid they wouldn't be able to appease both of their rulers in both countries at the same time. So there was a sort of crisis as to who the barons should choose, until Odo presented a solution. He said that the kingdoms should be united under one ruler. preferably Robert, as Odo was already his close friend, and he was easily manipulated. To summarise, Odo's rebellion was unfortunately defeated. Although slightly generously, Odo was only made to return to Normandy, with all of his lands confiscated, that is. Fast forward to 1095. Odo finds himself at the Council of Clermont, where the Pope announces the beginning of the First Crusade. That's right, Odo was involved with organising the First Crusade, although unfortunately he never got to do any fighting. He died on his way there in Palermo, Sicily, in 1097. So that was the story of Bishop Odo, the man who twice tried to become king, once tried to become the Pope, never stopped abusing his power, and was always looking for some exciting action in his life. Whether that come from invading a country or the First Crusades. I thank you for watching this video, and goodbye.